Yeah, very good morning, all. So let's quickly move on to the session. So again, I've got some, question from one of our students saying, like, sir, can you explain, difference between string and string buffer, and which one is recommended? Then, like, what is the difference between mutable and immutable? Of course, we are working with a concept called strings here. So, which is mutable and which is immutable, guys? Of course, good question. Actually, we have seen yesterday. So we have two concepts here which we are going to see as discussed yesterday. We are going to see strings. Okay. Then on the other end, we are going to see string buffer. Yes, which one is mutable and which one is immutable? Come on, guys. You're able to hear my voice and you're able to see my screen. Hope everything is fine. Okay. So which is mutable and which is immutable? Yes, guys. Strings are immutable, right? And string buffer is mutable type. Okay. When I say mutable, immutable, we cannot change the value. Okay. Whereas coming to mutable, we can change the value. The first question, if you go to interview also, this would be the first question if they want to discuss on strings. Like, is string immutable type or mutable type? Then string buffer mutable type or immutable type? And there's one other concept which is again, string builder also. So I'll just include here. So string builder. This is also mutable type. Again, if somebody asks you definition, then you can directly tell string is an object in Java that represents in character values. And to make you understand about string and string buffer, I already gave you an example yesterday, if you remember. Yes, guys? So what was the example which we have discussed yesterday? Yes? We took some case study and we have explained, right? How you're going to see the difference between both string and string buffer. Did you understand that example? Or you want me to take over once again onto that example? Yes, guys. Come on. String and string buffer example. If you see, you just clicked, okay. Okay, let me save it. String underscore demo dot Java. Public static void main. See, most of the time we are working with strings here. Then we took string object. Okay. string s1 equal to new string of, then imagine I'm just passing a string here. Then later on I said s1 dot, we have used concat method in order to combine. Okay, then we said parser. Okay, then system dot out dot print ln. Yes, display the value of s1 after concat. Just for your sake, I'm using this statement precisely. Okay. Yes. So now what output you expected yesterday? What is that output you're expecting? Speed up, guys. Because as few students have asked me this doubts, so I'm just explaining this again. Come on, guys. You can mark in the chat box. Hurry up. RGKT Basir. Fantastic. Fatima. Good. Gangadhar. Gangadhar. Karthik. Okay. Fine. Java C string demo dot Java. Okay. Fine. Any others? Any others would like to comment on the output? No? Yes or no? Any others? I would expect from one more person because I got two different answers there. RGKD Basir and RGKT. What is string, guys? String is immutable or mutable? Immutable, right? Immutable in the sense it will not be changed, right? What output you have got? RGKT or RGKT Basir? You've got RGKT, right? Fatima, understand, ma? Though you say s1 dot concat, here what happens? There would be a memory allocation which would be created. In fact, let me take. Okay. So initially, when I say here, a string s1 equal to new string of s1, immediately when I say new, when I use new keyword, memory will be allocated. Where memory will be allocated in which area? Which area, guys? Will the memory gets allocated in constant pool areas or in the heap memory? Where will the memory get allocated? Heap memory. Perfect, Bhumika. Okay. So memory gets allocated in heap memory. Sorry. Okay. Now what happens? In this heap memory will be allocated for s1 object. Okay. And it would be assigned with value called RGUKT. Okay. Later on, when I say s1 dot concat of Basir, what happens is again it would be allocating a separate memory space. Okay, then this s1 will occupy value called RGUKT. Okay, Basir. Okay, but the point here is this is not assigned to some other variable, right? I did not say like s3 equal to s1 dot concat of Basir. Okay, this value is also assigned to s1 object only. Okay, but internally what is happening when I display system.out.println of s1, it is displaying only RGK but not RGKT Basir. So what happens is when I say concat, it would be concatenated, but as this is not assigned to any variable, immediately this value will be garbage collected. Okay, it is not storing anywhere. Okay, as a reference it is getting copied. Okay, but when I say s1 object display s1 value, it is pointing to this location only. Understood? Understood, guys? That is how we are getting RGUKT. Similarly, the same example. Okay, now you guys have understood, right? Why immutable? I'm going with string buffer. Okay, okay. Here in string buffer we have append method. Okay, string buffer. Right. Save the program. Now the file name is same. My class name is string buffer underscore them. Now what output you are expecting? Now what output you are expecting, guys? Yes, guys. Come on. Come on, guys. What output you are expecting now? Only Yashwant gave us string RGKD Basel. Yes, absolutely. You can see the difference. Okay, fine. Now here what happened? Okay, when you go with string buffer, where is that? Okay, so when I said string buffer is mutable, okay, so here again same, yes, SB1 object memory got created. Okay, so initially it was RGUKT, then later on when we say SB1 dot append, immediately that value has got replaced with RGUKT parser as it is mutable type. Okay, it can be changed. You understood, guys? Immutable, mutable. Okay, immutable cannot be changed. Okay, simple example we have seen. Okay, when I say string s equal to new string, okay, new string of, okay, let us say like RGKT or maybe some value. Okay, later on if you say yes, okay, concatenate, you are doing concatenation. Okay, or maybe you are adding something. Okay, maybe you are telling okay, triple IT. Okay, still what is happening when you go with memory area? Okay, string constant pool area, there is that paint. Okay, okay, so here you are getting memory allocated. Okay, so here this is how it happens. Okay, internally, so this is yes, initially it is hello. Okay, sorry, initially it is RGKT. Okay, then later on again yes becomes RGKT triple IT. Okay, RGKT triple IT. But the point is when we again call that value, it is pointing to the initial memory area only. This memory area will be garbage collected at, we are not assigning to any other place. It is not modifying this place, it is taking separate location. Okay, but whereas in string buffer, okay, when I say in string buffer, Okay, string buffer. Okay, s equal to new string. Okay, buffer of rgkt. Later on, I am telling s dot append of, okay, triple it. Okay. So this is string buffer. In place of string buffer, what is happening? In the memory, it is taking initially s as rgkt. Okay. Later on, it is not creating separate memory location here. In the same memory location, because it is pointing to the same object, in the same memory location, it is modifying as rgkt triple it. Clear? So string is immutable. Sorry, string is mutable. Your string buffer is immutable. Okay. So mutable string buffer. So hence can be changed. String, it is immutable. So hence cannot be changed. Okay. So in string, we are making use of either concat operator or plus operator. Okay. So internally, what is happening is in strings, when you go with string, as first step, okay, when we are doing this concatenation, as first step, what it is doing is it is again calling string buffer only. Okay. As a second step, what it does is it is calling your append method here. When I say s plus equal to, okay, plus operator to concatenate. Okay. As a third step, what it is doing again, okay, it is converting string buffer, okay, string buffer to string class. Okay, fine. So this entire job in string buffer we are doing in single statement. Is that clear, guys? Is that clear? So from memory point of view, it is recommended to make use of string buffer than strings because it takes less memory consumption and at the same time it is faster execution point of time. You guys understood how it's happening? Is that clear, guys? Okay. And if you go with the difference between string and string buffer, okay, so string is immutable types, string buffer is mutable type. Okay, if you want to, we are making use of concat method in string, and in string buffer you are making use of append method. Okay, and the major point which you have to remember is once we create a string object, okay, I'm just writing here, once we create a string, once we create a string object, okay, we cannot perform any changes. Okay, any changes in what? Any changes in existing object. Sir, if you are trying to perform any changes, what happens? What happens? Yes, we have performed already. What happened? With those changes, a new object will be created. Okay, new object is creating, it is not changing the same object. Okay, so this non-changeable nature is nothing but immutability concept. Okay. But whereas in string buffer, once we create string buffer object, once we create string buffer object, okay, we can perform any type of changes in the existing object. Okay, This changeable nature is nothing but mutability, which is applied for string buffer. Is that clear, guys? Is that clear, everybody? Please respond. Students who have asked me questions on this, I hope you are clear. I'm repeating for your sake only. Okay. And I think you're clear with the literal concept, what happens in the literal also I have explained you. Okay. Then we go with normally when we go with the literal, so something like, let me use it here. Okay. Imagine like we said string s equal to, okay, CSE. Okay. Now again I said string s1 equal to, okay. Okay, first when I say string s equal to CSE, what happens in the memory? This is using literal, okay, string literal concept. String literal, okay. I'm not using object creation here, using literal concept. So memory will be saved in constant pool area, right? So string constant pool area, okay, right? Now when I say string s equal to CSE, so it is occupying memory for yes of yes, okay, where it would be directly stored hello, sorry, CSE. Okay. Then later on, what I'll do is I'll again say yes1 is also CSE. Now what happens? Now what happens? As the content is same here, as the value is same, now what it is going to do is this is not going to create a separate location here. It is again pointing to the same location as already that value is existing here. Yes points to this location, yes one also points to the same location, so it will not create separate location. Later on I'm telling string s2 equal to EC. Okay, now what happens, as the value is different, now it is allocating separate location now. Okay, string ECE. Right, this is what happened when you go with string literal concept. The same thing when I go with string object. Okay, I go with string object. I said string obj, okay, equal to new string, okay, new string of CSE. What happens now? What happens now, guys? What's going to happen here? Yes, guys, come on. It is not going to store in string constant pool area, right? Where will it store? It will store in heap memory. Okay, memory is getting stored in heap memory. Okay, so now we got created with obj, okay, where this obj is referring to CSE. Okay, later on I said again string obj1 equal to new string of Okay. Again, I'm taking CSE. Now tell me what happens. What happens, guys? What happens? A separate memory location will be created because the object is different here, right? OBJ1. Okay, which will again occupy CSE. Right? This is what it happens with respect to heap memory. Understood, guys? Are you all clear? Clear with the concept? If you do the example, then you will understand more precisely, guys. Okay, whatever I'm explaining you, you guys have to do it again. Okay. Once you do it, then you will be precise, more precise over it. Acha, okay. Oh, my student has asked me question now. Sir, which one is more recommended? Okay. See, it depends. It depends, Yashwant. Based on the memory, okay. It depends. You can go with string, literal, or heap also. Okay. You can also like make a comparison, sir. Which one is preferable with respect to string and string buffer? Two questions. So in the interview itself, they have asked you what is the difference. I mean, which one is preferable, or what is string and string buffer? So anyhow, first difference you will tell immutable type. Okay, whereas here you will tell mutable type. Okay. Then with respect to performance point of view, little bit slow, whereas string buffer is fast. Okay. Then what else? Memory point of view. Okay. Consumes more memory. Okay. When okay, when we concatenate. Okay, when we concatenate too many strings. Okay, here it consumes less memory. You have seen in the example. Okay, and then finally you can give an example program. Okay, because for every concept in the exam, please do concentrate, like we must give an example program. Just the interviewer, or maybe the person who is evaluating, he'll feel happy that you gave some example. You can impress the examiner or the interviewer by giving some real-time example. A small example, that is fine. So here you can give example using append method. Okay. So if you still ask me questions, sir, when to use string buffer, I mean string buffer. Okay. Of course, there is also a concept called string builder. Okay. So my answer to that question is, if the content, okay, is fixed and it won't be changed, okay, frequently, okay, then I suggest you to go with string concept. Okay. The same way, sir, if the content is not fixed, not fixed, and it is keeping on changing, okay, and changes happens. Yes, Yashwant, you can. Okay. So if you feel that object must require thread safety, okay, first thing is if the content is not fixed and it is keeping on changing, and if you feel, okay, if you feel that your object, okay, your object must require, okay, thread safety, thread safety, then go for string buffer. Okay. Third point, if the content is not fixed, okay, and it keeps on changing, okay, and you feel that thread safety is not required, okay, in your application, then you can go with string builder concept. So almost string buffer, string builder are same, only difference in terms of thread safety requirement. Okay, then you can go with either string buffer or string builder. Okay guys, understood the concept, how different it is with respect to string and string builder? Yes guys. Any others? Any others? Yashwant, your doubt is clear, Yashwant? Yeah. See, literal, all that, I hope you are clear, right? So when I say literals, I'm going with this double quotes. Okay. When I said string literal, we are creating with this double quotes. Okay. When I say string object, you are creating using new operator, right? So that difference you have to understand. When I create using new operator, what's happening? Where the memory is getting stored. Okay. When I used this quotes, double quotes, okay, where the memory is getting created. Okay, it is using string constant pool area, right? When I use new keyword, then it is creating in heap area, right? And how it is creating? It is creating separate memory location for every object. Whereas in string constant pool area, what's happening? It is checking out with the value, okay, content. If it is same, then it is pointing to the same location. It is not creating a new place. Is it clear, guys? Understood all? Okay. So as a conclusion, what I'm telling you, there are two ways to create strings in Java. One is using string literal and the other is using string object. Okay. So if you are using string literal, then you have to use double quotes and you have to create a string. If you are using string object, then make use of new keyword and you have to create. Okay. And with respect to memory location, how it is changing also I have shown you. Is that clear, guys? Okay. Now the next concept or next task, what is left over to you all guys is you have to work with the document which I have prepared already. Okay. So this is your entire concept which is there as part of syllabus. Okay, string class, then string class methods, string buffer class. Okay, you don't have string builder and string tokenizer. You have only string and string buffer. Okay, that's the reason I have explained you the difference between string and string buffer. I've concentrated more on string and string buffer. Okay, now you'll be able to explain the difference if somebody asks you. Okay, you're explaining three differences, then last difference in terms of programming, and then you'll also write the result there so that they'll be precise, they'll be happy. Is that clear, guys? So I gave you definition of string. Okay, then character sequence. So again implemented in three ways: string, string buffer, and string builder. Okay, between difference between string buffer and string builder also I discussed last point. Okay, if you want thread safety to be there in your application, then go with string buffer. Okay, if you don't require thread safety, then go with string builder. Okay, then I gave you different classes. Okay, string and string buffer and string builder, they are found in your java.lang package. When you go with string tokenizer, it is defined in java.util package. This is one difference. Okay, then this all declaration, everything in detail I have explained you what is happening. Okay, then string constructors, you can work with this different syntaxes. Okay, then I gave you example for each and every concept, don't worry. Then the more important thing is, as we have inbuilt predefined methods are available in java.lang.string package and string builder and string buffer. So I want you all to work with these examples. Yesterday we have already discussed all these examples. Okay, I'll share you the document, yesterday's document also. Just a minute. Okay, not this one, somewhere it was there. Okay, I'll just check and I'll just share the document. Okay, .txt file I have saved somewhere. Okay, so each and every method I want you guys to work, guys. Okay, please do not delete any method here. Okay, every method compare. Okay, so here most often lowercase, uppercase, replace, stream, equal, equals to. Yesterday we have seen one case study on this, equals and equals to. Okay, on what basis it is returning that boolean value, true or false, right? Content comparison, reference comparison, right? Yes, compare to. Okay, based on the string value. Okay, index of, last index, ending index, starting index, substring displaying, concatenation. Okay, just spend a lot of time. Okay, so on to each and every method, again I have given example here, example programs. Okay, for each and every concept I gave you example programs which we have already seen yesterday, and I want you guys to practice on these examples. Okay, every concept go in detail and then follow each and every example. You can later do your own examples. Then I gave you about string buffer. Okay, that also we have seen just now. Okay, so how string and string buffer is also different, we have seen. Okay, so all examples over string and string buffer again. Then at last, this is out of my interest which I have given. Okay, string builder and then string tokenizer. Okay, this is not there for the syllabus, but just out of my interest I have given, because you guys have to know what is the difference between string buffer and string builder. Okay, with respect to package point of view, with respect to thread safety point of view. This is not thread safe. Okay, so what is this thread safe, what is all that we are going to see in the next unit in multi-threading anyhow in detail. What is synchronization, what is thread scheduling, all that. Then tokenizer, in terms of tokenizer, what is string tokenizer, what are the constructors, then methods in string tokenizer class. Okay, So detailed explanation with all examples is precisely given. Clear? So I want you guys to work with this all examples and come to a conclusion. And also tomorrow if somebody asks, you must be able to explain the difference between string and string buffer. You must be able to explain the difference between string literal and string object. Okay. You must also be good at explaining with an example program, okay, why it is mutable, why it is immutable. You must also be precise with explaining the difference, or maybe when to go with string buffer, string builder, and then uh, string concept, and in the same way string tokenizer. Okay, so as a conclusion, we have seen, like, okay, when compared to string and string buffer, okay, so of course it is again based on the requirement, but still, okay, so recommended to work with string buffer, okay, because it is faster, okay, then less memory consumption, okay, fine, when compared to your string, okay, and it is mutable type. And we have seen in terms of object creation what is happening in string and string buffer in both the classes, how it is varying. Okay, clear, guys? So I want you guys to work with all example programs and then come back to me in the next class. So for today's session, I'm just stopping here, and we are almost done with our unit 3, guys. Okay, successfully we have completed our unit 3. These are my video lectures. Okay, where is our syllabus copy? Okay, here it is. Yes, we have done with unit 1, unit 2, and unit 3. Almost 60% of syllabus we have done with it, guys. Okay, just look how many concepts we have done till today. Okay, every concept is important in terms of your interview. Okay, now you must be enough strong to answer in the interview. We are almost done with the core part of Java. Core Java is completed. Okay, now we are slowly moving on to level 2, or maybe part 2 of Java, which we are left over. Unit 4 and unit 5. 2 units are left over, guys. Tomorrow anyhow, I'll start your unit 4. I'll go with packages concept tomorrow. Okay, then slowly we'll move on to exceptional handling, multi-threading, right? So probably by next week, we'll be able to complete packages and exceptional handling. So probably I'll take under 10 lectures to complete 3 concepts, because they are very much important concepts. So hopefully before your examinations, we'll be done with 4 units. Okay, and last unit I'll complete after your examinations, because this is more important from respect to your project development point of view. But next, tomorrow's session, we'll able to finish off packages, how to create your own package, user-defined package. Anyhow, we have support of predefined packages in Java, but still, if you want to create a user-defined package, then how do we do it? Okay, so all that discussion would be held in tomorrow's session. Once again, I request all the students to please be available online in live sessions. Anyhow, the sessions would be recorded, will be posted onto my YouTube channel, but still participating in the live session is different, and listening to a recorded session is different. Okay, you have scope of asking doubts here, right? You can clear your all questions. Okay, all minute things will be answered when you sit in a live session. Okay, recorded session, it is one-way track, guys. Okay, So once again, I want you guys to practice between string and string buffer and become perfect on these concepts, right? So that's all for today's session, guys. See you all in tomorrow's session. If you have any queries, you can mark in the chat box, else you can join for the next session. Thank you all.